Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, and welcome to the Over and Out podcast. We've had a tie. It's 346 all at Beckenham. Not only is it 346 all, it was 346 for 9 all after 50 overs each. It's been the most remarkable finish, the most remarkable day of cricket. I'm here, Cameron Ponsonby, with Georgie Heath to run you through all of it, where to begin, where to start, what to say. I think let's start at the end because it's the most exciting part. Surrey need another 130 runs to win. They're 7 down. Alice Capsey's on about 70 when Rhiannon McDonald-Gay comes to the crease. It's dead and buried, isn't it? It's over. It's finished. What happened next?
Honestly, I think we sat down and were like, right, we'll be in the car not too long. And that sounds like we're being really negative. But looking at the scorecard as it was and the way it played and the amount of wickets that had gone down, it did seem like Alice Capsey, it might have been a valiant effort in the end. But how tables can turn in cricket, and even coming off air at the end, everyone's just sort of going, whoa, whoa. And I think my heart's still beating, and it was sensational stuff actually in the end, and then managing to get it to tied at 346 runs each. What was that, the highest List A tie ever?
Correct. I think it's highest. It might be highest ever. It's definitely highest women's ever. We'll find out. Let's call it the highest ever. Who cares? It's fine. It doesn't matter. It's just facts. Right. Give you some numbers. In the Blaze for their 346, Amy Jones got 80. Georgia Elwys got 82. Danny Gregory was the pick of the bowlers of 3 for 63 off her 8 overs. And then the story of Surrey's innings. Alice Capsey, 125. Next highest score, 43. It was a one-woman show for much of it. And we're going to start. We're going to do a little change in the order of the questions because we've spoken about Alice Capsey here. Player of the day, Georgie, who's your choice?
Oh, it's
Please say Alice Capsey.
Oh, it's a tough one. Yeah, I'm actually going to go with, Alice Capsey. I mean, sensational stuff. And she just showed no fear. We've seen this a lot in her cricket. You know, when she burst onto the scene as a youngster, she's obviously come through Surrey ranks. But it was a really mature innings, but then it just had such spicy bits to it. You know, 1 minute she's suddenly sending the ball to all parts, but just nonchalantly. And it was sensational. You know, she'd made it past her previous highest List A score of 79, and we were like, okay, well done. You know, been great effort from Alice Capsey in this chasing effort. And then she just went bash, 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 went on, sends it for 6. Suddenly, she's into the 90s, and then sends it to the boundary to cross the 100. And it really was absolutely stunning. And she looked pretty downcast when she left the field, thinking, oh, have I left any runs out there? But actually, I mean, just what a knock.
Well, she'd left one too few out there. That's the result. That's a bit mean. There was 1 6 she hit today where she just picked up the ball over mid-wicket. It went all the way. She just touched it. She kissed it, and it flew for 6 runs. And I thought a really impressive part of her innings today was when the pressure came back on at the end. So when you're 130 short and you've got 3 wickets left, weirdly, because it's a doomed situation, there's no fear of failure. Yeah. It's over. It's fine. And then her and Rhiannon McDonald-Gay start to tap the ball around a little bit. They score a few more runs. Rhiannon McDonald-Gay, when they need 110 off the final 11 overs, quick maths, 10 and over. I've done it for you, don't worry.
Thank you.
McDonald-Gay scores 3 boundaries and over, and then you go, right, we've got help from either end here. We can possibly do this. And then there's 1 over left of Kirsty Gordon with spin in the last, let's say, 7 overs or so. And everything else is pace. And you think, right, this is probably an over to pat back, use the pace, runs are everywhere. And Alice Capsey goes, no. And she absolutely takes Kirsty Gordon apart for 21 runs across the over. And then that's when she passed the century. She kicked into another gear. The pressure was back on because it was possible again. And yes, she only had another 20 runs, which left them with 39 to get for the final wicket off, I believe it was 29 deliveries. Danny Gregory, career highest score of 20. She's not a great batter. She's been working on it. She's number 11 for a reason.
She's number 11 for a reason.
But her and Alexa Stonehouse, goodness me, they get us all the way to the end, 2 required off 1 ball. And I'm going to hand over to you for the moment of the day.
I think the moment of the day, and this is going to sound like such a cop-out, it has to just be the tie at the end. I mean...
That's why I walked you down to 2 off 1.
And it was the fact that it actually got sent back. It was almost a caught and bowled, get put down, they sprint through, and it was a tie. And everyone's just going, it's a tie. We're needing 2 off 1, and it's Danny Gregory on strike as well, who you're not expecting to be the one out there to score your winning runs. And the nerves, the heart rate, I'm surprised your watches aren't all going off around the country if you're watching that, because it was stunning.
It was a really bizarre kind of end to the game. Bizarre in an exciting manner as well, because the Blaze they didn't combust. And I think they actually did the opposite. They were very thorough in how they were thinking about their plans and their fields, because I'm convinced the boundaries were small today. They just looked smaller than they normally are. And their runs normally scored here anyway. But they were having very weird fields to Alice Capsey and then Alexa Stonehouse at the end, where they had a short third in place, a backward point, and a deep third. And they were having kind of long on in the ring at mid on. And they were basically going like, how on earth can we stop these runs being scored? And Alexa Stonehouse, in just her second match of the season, was superb. She arrived at the crease. You think, right, number 10, Rihanna McDonald-Gay was batting well. Stonehouse, Stoney, that's how I call her.
Oh,
go on, Stoney.
Go back a long way.
Knock the ball around a little bit, get old Caps on strike. First ball, she just lifts it over mid-off for 4 runs, and it's a wonderful shot. She plays the most fantastic innings at the end. Again, 1 run too few. It was fun. That's such a negative. That's me being so cynical and facetious. I'm sorry. To counter my negativity and just sarkiness and other words that can be attributed to me, what brought you joy today?
Oh, what brought me joy? I think it was just the excitement, the fact that it's not over until it's over. I'm sure you could insert something about someone singing. It's not over. But the fact that, we all thought that it was down and out. And that is so cricket that if we just get in through those middle overs and then you go, this is going to be over. There's too many runs out there to get. They're not going to get this. Oh, look, and now Capsey's out. And then suddenly you could just feel it build. You could feel it building. And then when we looked around and the Surrey members around us are all on their feet and suddenly there's this buzz and there's oohs and ahs and there's gasping here, there and everywhere. Heart rate's through the roof. You can almost hear the heartbeat, X Factor kind of style, the dum dum, as there's mothers meeting going on between all the blades, the captain, the bowlers, everyone else who's coming in to have a chat. And it was just the fact that cricket could just turn like that, and that is why we love this game, and it's just not over till it's over.
It was a real reminder of cricket being at its best, and we could see it from so far out, this kind of impending miracle that was on the cards and for a little bit felt inevitable. Where you think they could do this, they might just do this.
And that's not just because we've watched too many sports films when, and that's what takes us into normal life. We always think they could just do this, and maybe we've watched too many films, but actually sometimes they can just do this, and sometimes they fall even, and that never happens in the films. You just can't write sport.
Right, something to talk about. Do you have something to talk about off the top of your head? Obviously, there's so many things that happen today. I don't know how to kind of nail one down.
It is very hard to nail one down. The fact that it was equal runs and wickets, and it's showing that everyone is so important. You've got 11 players out there in the middle, and it's just everyone's tiny little incremental impact on a game can change it. Whether you run that tiny bit faster and you get back for a second, or you just put that little bit more into it, you get 1 run and you make a difference in this game.
Well, you made a very good point on commentary at the end when Danny Gregory sprinted back for a second run to get Alexa Stonehouse back on strike, I believe in the penultimate over, and then Stonehouse hit a 6 straight. I remember you said straight away, put those 6 runs down next to Danny Gregory's name, because it made such a difference. I don't know why I've just remembered that. Did you remember Capsey got dropped on about 20?
She did. It seems a long time ago. She then got dropped again later.
Did she?
Came through for 1. And then...
Oh, yes, she did, sorry.
And then a wicket came off the very next ball. Went to the same fielder. Went to Georgia Elwes.
Well, there we go. Alice Capsey did get... Again, why am I focusing on negative things? This is my problem.
Yes, you've got to ride that. You get given a life, you take it. Cats, when they get given their 8th life, they go, you know what, I've got another one. I got 9 of these.
Famously, the great plot to Puss in Boots' latest film, he finds out he's on his last life, and he goes to try and find it. And then he goes in search of this spell, which means he'll get all 9 lives back. And then in the quest of finding it, he realised that 1 life is all you need. Oh, how good's that? Why should you come on Saturday? I'll answer this one. Well, look what's just happened here today. It's been cricket at its absolute best. The sun's out. This ice cream truck was here. 700 runs were scored, almost. And it's the first T20, the T20 Cup. So it's going to be Surrey versus Hampshire here at Beckenham. It's going to be spectacular. And if it's anywhere near as good as today, it'll be well worth your time. I've been Cameron Ponsonby. This has been Georgie Heath. This has been Oval and Out.